Hello, my name's Jacqueline Ashford, and I've been asked to give a quick chat about what it's like to be a carer, my situation, and how easy I found it to access services. My son's 36 before he showed any signs of becoming unwell. He was in Germany at the time. I'd noticed that he'd been pretty depressed and down for a few months previous, but on Christmas Eve, 4 years ago, he phoned me up, actually my daughter phoned me up saying, you better get on the phone to Daniel, because he's just phoned up to say goodbye. So obviously we phoned up Daniel in Germany, and he was convinced that people were out to get him. The police were going to kill him. There was a big mob gang after him that went all the way up to the royal family. They were all going to kill him, but they weren't only going to kill him. They were going to torture him. They were going to cut him into pieces and send bits of him home to me. They were going to rape my mother. They were going to rape me. Then they were going to kill me. And it was just awful. Anyway, 5 hours later, that day on the phone, we managed to persuade him to go to a police station that was local to him for his safety, because at that time I had no idea that he was ill, so I didn't know what was going on, and I honestly had no reason not to believe this wasn't true, far-fetched as it was. So we sent him to the police station, and to my shock and horror, they sent him then to a mental hospital for 6 weeks. He wasn't actually sectioned, but he had to, if he tried to leave, he would be sectioned. So in that time, I was trying to find out what in the world was going on, what was wrong with him, what this entailed. All I was told was that he had a psychotic episode, was suffering with paranoia, and he could possibly stay this way for the rest of his life and end up living in a mental institution. So I frantically over here tried to contact services over here. I was phoned in, the Mind and all these, basically anything that was in the telephone book. And unfortunately, the response I was getting was, well, your son's in Germany. You haven't got a mental health problem. There's nothing we can do for you. I'm very sorry. So this was trying to deal with the horror of all of this. At the same time, I was supporting my son 5 hours a day on the phone at least, just trying to talk to him, because initially you end up by saying the wrong thing, and then they've got the wall, and then you don't believe me, and you're on their side even. It was awful, but I sort of tried navigating that, and great distress to myself, as you can imagine. I wasn't sleeping, wasn't eating, I looked awful. So initially, I was on my own, and it was awful. Nobody wanted to really know, because nobody knew what to say to me. So yeah, friends disappeared. No help from anywhere. So eventually, I contacted Barbara Cook in the Havel in Ammanford in Carmarthenshire, and explained the situation to her. And she said, I don't know what we can do to help you, because you are, because of the situation with Daniel being in Germany. But come and have a chat. So she waited, in all fairness, about 5 o'clock, so that most people had gone, because it was very obvious I was in a state. And I think I just talked and talked and talked to her for about 3 hours, and explained to her what had happened, and asked her what the hell was going on, because I didn't know. So she explained as best she could, and calmed me down basically, and just made me realise I had somebody on my side, somebody who was prepared to help me. She made inquiries to find out how the German systems worked. She sort of signposted me to other people for help and that, and she also informed me that eventually, after a few times speaking with her, that I could access the police, and if I was concerned about Daniel immediately and needed someone to get to him quickly when he was out of hospital, and that they would send the police around in Germany to do a welfare check. I've only had to do that once, but it was there, and it was a lifesaver for me. She's been supportive all these years. She has welcomed me into the Havel, and so have everybody else here. So in the 4 years, what I've found out about being a carer is that it's isolating, it's 24/7, it's frustrating, it's for me, and I can only speak in my case, because Daniel is not ill all the time. He is varying degrees of paranoia and psychosis. So sometimes I get a good Daniel, and sometimes I can hear those little demons coming, and that's when you really start to worry. And you've got to be so careful about what you say. And do you feel guilty if you go out and enjoy yourself because you're thinking about them, and it does take over your life. It does take over your life. You pretty much learn quite quickly that people are not interested generally in your problems or what you're going through, because, and specifically I find with mental health, because it's not something that most people have had a lot of experience of, and it's not something they really want to get involved with, and they don't want to hear your problems. So in that respect, it's very isolating. However, since I've been coming to the Havel, I've got to know the guys here in Ammanford and the staff, and they're all fantastic. As I say, they've welcomed me, and I feel we've started to build a little bit of relationships going, which is good.